Welcome to the debrief 3. Woo!
I never move.
You did what you did. As you can see, we are still not in our normal location because Miss Laura is still not back to work, but she will be back on
Monday for a full week.
How's the toe?
Well, the toenails removed now, so it's okay. I came to Cyprus with 10 toenails. I leave with 9.
How dramatic.
That's true.
It's true. Somehow that'll be dramatic. That's true. Oh, right. Well, today we thought we'd have a little chat about school lunches, what our kids eat at break times. We're gonna talk about like what we had as kids as for lunches and like normal kind of school lunches. I feel like we'll talk about it later, but our school, I feel like our kids don't bring typical school lunch stuff
No, I do not.
because our timing's different, but we'll get into that. But first, what are your memories of school lunches as a student? And this is going to be different because you went to school here
Can I
in
start?
Cyprus.
Because mine's boring.
I got a good one.
Okay.
Mine is packed lunch. Woo!
Woo.
So memories. Oh, actually, yeah. Just thought of one now. Bit traumatic. So packed lunches involved usually like bread, brown bread. I didn't like brown bread. I always wanted white, and I was like, no, got to be brown. So we had brown bread and other things like I'd have like a fruit or something like that. But one time I had white bread and it was inside. And it was a treat. Inside was just delicious, just peanut butter. It was so nice and creamy. I was standing, I was eating it, I was really enjoying it, and then this kid runs past me, knocks it out of my hand, goes on the ground. So I was so devastated. I took it.
I would have cried.
Yeah, I took it to the bathroom. I washed it under the tap. And then my friend Stephanie, shout out, said, "I don't think you can do that." I was like, "No, I'm getting rid of the germs." And then I ate it, and it was disgusting.
Oh, girl.
Oh, Sarah's quite.
That is very traumatic.
Yeah, but all my other lunches were great.
Can I share my traumatic lunch story?
Yes, before.
So when me and Emma were in primary school, Mama would always make her pack lunches for us, right? And we always had like a good lunch. Like we'd have like a sandwich or a bath or a bit of fruit and like a packet of crisps or something like that. Solid lunch, right?
Good Northern Irish packed lunch.
Mother was sick. For like I remember Mama was quite bad. Like she was quite sick, and her father had to make her pack lunches. Now, when I say my dad, oh my goodness. Me and Emma got to school and we were eating our lunch. And I went home and I said to Mum, "Are you feeling any better?" She was like, "My packed lunch was not very nice." And I'll tell you what, I opened that, I'll never forget. I opened it up and the sandwich, the thickest layer of butter like I'd ever seen. Like you know that spreadable butter.
Oh yeah.
Like the thickest layer, and a big wedge of ham, and that was it. Ham sandwich.
Just a dry ham sandwich.
Yep, and a packet of crisps, and that was my lunch.
Lord.
I know. I said I'll never forget.
How was it dry if you had butter in it?
Oh no, it wasn't dry.
It's not dry, but it's still you know something.
It was mostly butter than ham, to be honest. I was like,
a butter sandwich.
a butter sandwich. And then I said, I'll never forget saying to Mum, like, I think I had school dinners the next day because we could have a choice, but
yes.
That's so nice. Yeah, please tell me about school dinners.
So that was
the school dinner.
that was my memory of school too. Like we normally pack lunch, kind of similar. We'd have a sandwich or Lunchables.
Oh yeah.
What's
My
that?
mum didn't like them.
If mum was feeling a bit bougie, shout out Jackie.
Jan didn't like them, so she processed.
But they also were expensive.
I'm not.
Expensive and processed.
And
Wow.
it is like crackers, ham. I'm saying ham. I'm not quite sure if
It's not ham.
And cheese, and you stacked it. Like you could make like a little stack of it. Yeah, so they were cool. And it was like a trend more than anything. So we had those, or normally a sandwich, crisps, piece of fruit, a yogurt, always a fruit. Always had fruit. I love the fruit.
You
don't get fruits here.
No,
Kids do packet yogurt. It's like you cut the top off and drink it.
Real mess though.
And then they burst it, and so I miss my fruit.
But I really like yogurt. But I remember I used to take like carrot sticks and stuff.
Yeah, we had like a variety of stuff. But then you could have school dinner if you wanted. And my favourite day at the school dinner was chicken soup and hot dog day. Is that just the like that? Is,
Ooh,
no, that's actually
interesting.
grim. If I think
We
about
always-
that right now, that's disgusting.
That was
Yeah.
But
wild.
that's we beg mum, please let us. It was always on Friday. We have school dinners. It was chicken soup and hot dog, and we like went into our
That's random.
Did it taste good?
That's
yeah,
such a
you
random
know, chicken soup
combination.
and you hot dog.
All
That
right.
was the
Okay.
such a no, absolute brilliant.
We had
Um,
chips on a Friday.
yeah.
Yeah, and fish fingers.
Fish finger, chips and beans.
Ah,
Lovely. Or lasagna, cottage pie, like proper dinner, or like some kind of pie, veg and spuds.
I remember we
Always,
had
yeah.
like we had like a wee menu. So like I would look at it on the
Mm.
Sunday evening, and then mum would be
Yeah.
like, right, what do you want? Do you want pack lunch this day or something?
Yeah,
We pick the days.
yeah.
So if I liked what was on Monday, I'd go.
I remember that when I was training in Scotland,
Mhm.
doing that,
Yeah.
like looking at all that and seeing what the kids had picked.
Yeah.
Ah.
Were you allowed to buy it if you wanted when you were on your placement? Like if you said, "Oh, I didn't bring anything today," could you go to the canteen and get?
I don't know. I never asked. I just
Oh,
assumed
yeah.
the kids.
Well, because I used in my last school, like
Ah.
some days, if I didn't want to like order food or I didn't bring it, I would go and say like, yeah, left, and like yeah, I would pay like £2 for a school dinner.
That's mad.
Oh, literally.
But are they
Yeah.
like made there or
Yeah, they're
brought
made-
in?
No, they're made there. So this, like you have
Some
like
of them are wrong.
some of them are brought in,
Mm.
some are just cook comes in and they like would
Okay,
make
and so it's
there.
homemade, so it is good
Yes.
for you.
We had
It's pretty good.
We had like a dinner lady who like supervised us.
Mm.
And she was like so scary. She was Portuguese and she was so scary. And she drove a moped. But like she's the tiniest little woman and she used to scare the life out of everyone. Like, and she would just shout all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost it. And she looked in her lunch boxes. So if we didn't eat anything, she would like say, "Why didn't you eat this?"
Did you eat your packed lunch with everyone else?
Yeah.
Ah,
In the assembly
we
hall.
didn't. So if you had school dinner, you went to the assembly hall. And if you were packed lunch, you could stay with your class teacher.
Oh no, we
Oh.
were
That
always
was
like
ours.
that.
So it was kind of a.
Her class teacher.
Yeah, I know, but and I actually remember this. My P7 teacher. I didn't like her very much, but she was marking books.
Shout out.
I remember this so vividly, Mrs. Wilson.
Shout out.
Shout out. But I remember. She'll never remember this, but I do.
Hmm.
I mean, I was eating my food, and all of my friends that day had gone for school dinner, and I was the only P7 who didn't have school dinner. And I remember sitting on my side because we were split P6 and 7 class. So all the P6s were over here, and I was on my own eating. And she was marking books, and she was marking my English book, right? But so she said to me, "Hannah, are you finished?" And I thought she meant was I finished my food. So I went, "Oh no, I've just got one more cookie to eat." And I'm done. She goes, "No, I mean your story."
Oh.
I was like, I still remember it.
No,
It's
but
so
like, you're
embarrassing.
eating your lunch, so that's so
I'm embarrassed.
No, the dinner lady in our school, when she looked in her lunch boxes, she would come round with them and all. I remember she was, "Laura," I'm like, "Oh, why didn't you eat this apple?" I was like, "I didn't want to eat it."
I never look in the kids' lunch
No,
boxes.
I think that's awful. I
just-
remember going home and telling my mother,
Yeah.
I kept saying, "Teresa, how's her name? Teresa, look at my lunch box today."
But why? Like, I don't know, because for me, it's like if the kids don't eat lunch, I'm not gonna.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Anyway,
sorry. That's my traumatic experiences.
will we move on? So then, as a teacher, how do we do we see a change in the kids' behaviour based on what they're eating? Like, is it affecting their learning in the classroom? Do you think like we're seeing a shift in what they're eating and concentration and all that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
My goodness,
Absolutely.
yes.
Just yes, move on.
No, but like
Yeah.
some of the stuff they eat, I'm just like,
Mm.
Crisps,
yeah, like loads of crisps. Like
pizza slices.
it's just, but see, bags of crisps
Mm.
back home are a lot smaller than the ones here.
Yes.
The ones
They are.
here are massive and they're actually full, whereas the ones at home are
Yeah,
smaller.
you
and
have
half
really
full.
tiny
With
ones.
tiny
Yeah.
bags of
Every time I go over to Northern Ireland, I'm like having 3 potatoes.
It's like, excuse me, what's in this bag?
Like, there's never,
No,
I'm
it's
done.
You open it, it's literally a quarter
Is
of
that
the
on
bag.
purpose to stop people
Probably.
eating so
It
much?
probably is, yeah.
Ah,
But I think so. Like for us here, our schools, it's like the kids. I find it really strange coming from the UK, where the kids have a hot meal at dinner time, whereas
Yes.
here they don't, because our break time. First
We're
break,
early in the morning.
first
yeah.
break to me is breakfast. But because we start at 7:30, the kids have probably mostly eaten breakfast before
Yeah.
they come to school. Some don't, and some will
So
say
we're
to
teaching
me,
lessons.
yeah, like they're in 7:30 and I'm starting the maths in the day, like, you know,
Yeah.
just boom, done. but it's like the kids some don't eat and they're starving by 9, 10.
Yeah.
But I've seen our kids, like open their lunchbox and they're having chicken curry and rice at 9 in the morning.
Couldn't eat
I'm
that.
like,
I could not
Oh,
eat that.
you know,
Yeah, but they're having
Sports
crisps
day.
at 10 past 9. Donuts sometimes.
Donuts.
Sports day. Do you remember sports day? Sarah?
ice cream, 10 past 9 in the
Not
morning.
even, not even. When me and Sarah, when we went upstairs after that reassembly, remember we went upstairs
Oh
before
yeah.
we didn't go back to our rooms and sports
Oh
day.
yeah.
And they were running around and they were buying pizza. And it wasn't even 8 o'clock in the morning at this point. I went,
No.
no.
But they eat, like the kids send me, I need to go to the tuck shop this. And I'm like, do you have anything else to buy? You don't need to go to the tuck shop first.
The thing is as well, so our tuck shop prices are, the chips are way cheaper than the sandwiches. And so
Also
when I was
true.
talking to the kids, I was like, why do you buy chips? They just shrug. And I'm like, how much are the sandwiches? They're saying, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fair enough. If I was a kid, I wouldn't be buying a sandwich
Yeah.
if I could buy. You see, a lot of them, they know their parents aren't there watching them.
No, and they know we're not exactly.
Yeah, we
it's,
can.
It's not none of my business.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm so sorry you can't eat a donut.
Yeah.
Past 9
I mean, because if it's there, it's there. And then if other kids are
It's
allowed to do it.
It's the grade 1 kids.
It's the donuts are so big. Like, I actually
The
can't
grade 1
express how big
kids,
they are.
they come down. Have you ever watched grade 1 with the donuts there? The donuts the size of their head. I kid you, like,
It's not
and then they're
so-
coming, ha ha ha! I'm like, no.
Well, then
I
they're
tell-
brown sugar. I always
It's
notice
true.
in the morning my kids are so well concentrated.
Same.
They're so
Yeah.
focused.
Same.
And by the end of the day, it's
They're
like
bouncing off
But
the
by first break, second break, off.
yeah,
they're
off the
bouncing.
rails. Like I'm just,
And they're having iced tea. They're having like I've seen kids. They've sat down first thing in the morning. They're having a can of iced tea and a donut, and I was like,
it's just
who
not.
has allowed that?
It's just not
Like,
ideal.
And they're growing too, like they really need good food. And then you can
Yeah.
tell the kids who, like, so one of my kids, so he's Asian, he has like rice and everything, like proper like meal inside. And and some of the other kids are like sharing his. It's like they want good food,
They do,
you know?
yeah, and they haven't got
Like
it.
one kid had his chips. I was like, chips this early? And he's like, Miss, and he was dipping it into the other kid's rice.
Oh,
I
just
was like,
making it.
okay, it's fine now. It's like they do want it, you know?
It's true, and it's like I don't know. Is it parents are just busier? Like, is that affecting it as well?
Yeah.
Like, because okay, I know it's easy. Like, it's hard. It's easy for me to say, "Oh, parents should make packed lunch." I mean, how many days do I rock up to school and I haven't brought a single thing with me?
Yeah.
Like, it's true. Like, and then I'm looking like, "Oh, what's in the staff room to eat?" You know?
Yeah.
Or I'm like, "Okay, I keep orange oats in school to make
Yeah.
porridge." Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah.
Share some water there.
I make it with water just to try that. But yeah, but it's like that might be the only thing I eat at school, and I know that's also not good for
See
me.
that
And
I
concentration,
Can't, I
yeah.
can't
See
do
when I'm
that.
hot. Oh my goodness!
I need to eat.
Like,
I need to eat.
eat. I know.
I have my porridge in the morning,
Yeah.
and then I make it at home beforehand and bring it in, and then and then I have my lunch.
So like for us, we always make lunches the day before, like the afternoon before the next day. But you just need to get into habit of that.
It's
Even
true.
so,
Yeah,
it
it's
actually
true.
is such a faff.
I
But then
know.
it's better than early in the morning.
Yeah, because
making it.
when I get up in the morning, there's no
No, it's the last thing I
there's
want to do.
no part of me is
No.
like, let me make myself a sandwich.
No, I need to make myself breakfast.
No, I don't eat until I get to school, and it's like, yeah. Or if I've had dinner the night before and I've made too much and I've enough for the next day, amazing. That's the best way.
I always make sure I do that.
Same, I do it too.
Even if I don't eat it at school, I'll come home and eat it for dinner.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because then
That's
it's
what I did today.
just you have to. But like I know for parents, it's easier to say, "There's €5, buy yourself something at school on the way out the door."
But then I wonder, okay, if parents are doing that, we could stop, like we could solve the problem maybe with on our end, you know,
Yeah.
ban chips. I don't know, or
I know
something.
it's like should the tuck shop. So that's actually the next question.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It is, do you think our current school lunches are meeting their nutritional needs?
No.
No.
They have stuff there.
But-
It's just more expensive for the
Yeah.
kids, and they're not buying.
Yeah.
Well,
it.
healthier stuff's always going to be more expensive.
That's
That's just
true.
the way it is. That's like, you know, like you said, they're growing still and they're eating all this like, rubbish. And I'm just like,
But we also, and it's starting again, we get fruit now at this time of
Yeah.
year.
yes,
And it's like you get little packets of fruit.
You
So
get
the
it from
kids,
the government.
the government is free, so the kids do eat it.
Yeah.
Like they are pretty good at that.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Those I love it when
That's
they
good.
started that.
that's the one thing. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's one thing I noticed like when I came here is that in the UK, healthy eating is like whole year round thing. It's like pushed on massively,
Yeah.
and like here I
Yeah.
just was like, it's literally not even it's not even really a thing compared
We
to the
did.
UK.
Like we have an event week in school where it was health week. That wasn't this year,
No,
right?
I
You didn't know
remember,
it was
no, I
last
remember
year.
you telling me.
And for that week, it was like we had to encourage the kids to try and bring, and even like as teachers, we did it too. Bring something healthy or blah blah blah, and they got points and stuff. But the kids did it, and most of them actually enjoyed it. Would you not agree? Like
No, they loved
It's
it.
something different for them.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you know, they had a piece of fruit, and I'm not saying they can't have anything.
And we're not saying no, the kids eat fruit.
No,
yeah.
but some do eat
Just-
fruit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
It's the majority don't.
it's have a piece of fruit with the other thing you're gonna eat.
Yeah.
You're gonna eat donut, balance it with a banana. You know?
It's better than
I
just
don't
not
know,
having the. I know what
it's
you mean. It's
true.
better than not having the banana.
Yeah.
Eat the donut.
Although eat the banana, not the donut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's ways that the tuck shop on the spot could make fruit salads, could make like
there could be things
vegetable tots or something. I don't know.
because kids would eat carrot sticks, they'll eat
Oh,
cucumber, they'll
yeah.
eat.
I had all
Like,
that eyes in
yeah.
school, like
But I think in Cyprus they eat it more here, like than in home,
yeah.
because it is grown here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fresher here.
Yeah.
It's better for you. So yeah. So we're gonna move on now to talk.
Before you, sorry.
Yes.
No. I was just also
It's
thinking.
just loads of points.
No, yeah, but like also, it's not necessarily the tuck shop's fault because actually
No,
Cyprus,
absolutely.
we don't have we don't have a lot of healthy options, as in unless it's like raw ingredients. You know, like a
True.
pear and that. Like we're really good with fruit and vegetables, but then other alternatives
Yeah.
we don't really have a lot of. Do we?
Not really, no. Like
That you can buy that, like like a granola bar. It's kind of
I
a lot of
know,
them are
it's
just full of
true.
sugar.
Yeah.
but like we have a few colleagues who have like they can't have like gluten, they can't have dairy, they can't have
Yeah,
everything. And for them they're like we just make stuff from scratch.
it's yeah.
Because it's like at home
Yeah.
there's the gluten-free section at home, like you go Tesco, Asda, wherever
That's
you're going,
brilliant.
massive big
Yeah.
section. Here it's like
Oh, yeah, it's like
triple,
not
but
so
it's like
much.
triple the price.
Yeah.
And it's like why are we paying €6 for gluten-free bread?
Mm.
And gluten-free bread's horrible.
But if you have to have it,
Yeah.
then it's better to make your own. Like so I
Oh,
know
yeah.
a lot of people that would bake their own stuff. and
Just
it's like,
cut out
"Oh,
bread. I cut out bread. I felt so much better this summer. Ate so many salads. Eat more
it's
meat.
true."
Carnivore diet.
Bread's on the
Bread's my downfall.
What?
Bread's my downfall.
I love bread.
No, bread makes
Alright.
But Jesus said he was the bread of life, not the
But
broccoli of life.
But you know that
That was
bread.
cultural, I know.
But that bread had one ingredient or two or three. Bread
No,
now
it's
is
so true, Sarah.
full of stuff. I don't know what they're putting in it, but it ain't
Tiger
bread
bread.
anymore.
Oh, tiger bread.
Tiger bread's
Oh, I
good.
miss tiger
I
bread.
love it.
Do you ever go to Morrison's to get their tiger
Yes!
bread? Yes!
I had that in Scotland. I love that.
Oh, so you can like bread. Yeah.
I do, no, I'm not saying I
can
don't.
say
I'm
I
just
like
saying. Just put words in my mouth.
Anywho.
Bread now is terrible, unless
But
you
it is
make your
gross.
own
No, it's
sourdough
gross.
bread or something.
Ooh, all right, Sarah.
Wait,
Can't
oh,
say
I've
I
never
know.
done that. It's a dream.
Anyway.
So, not talking about like what they actually eat now. We're going to move on to like two-part things. So, do you think that the students are given enough time to eat their lunch, and how do we schedule lunch, and how does it affect the students, teachers, etc.? So let's do the first bit. Do you think the kids have enough time to eat?
No.
I think yes.
Yes.
It's just
Depends on the age
it's
group.
just they want to play,
Yes,
and we don't have boundaries that much. I mean, well,
they're supposed to eat for
the first 10 minutes. I think that's too short. I think if they ate all of first break
Yeah. Some
and
kids
played second break.
But
Yeah.
and some kids do. I get it. I do see kids for 30 minutes and all they do is eat. And I'm like,
Yeah.
do you know what?
Same.
Absolutely fair play to you. But I also see kids who
Don't
and
eat.
it do a thing and they run around. And then we do get a lot of parent complaints, especially the younger grades, to say we didn't have time to eat. And I'm like, I get that, and I get that it's difficult for them to choose. I really think I do
Yeah.
understand. But they have 30 minutes, and I also think if we had time before break, I would let my kids eat for 10 minutes
Yeah,
before I
same.
sent them out.
But the thing is, Katie does that with her class because
Yeah.
they're grade one, but it's like when we go to the football pitch, do you not notice like very few of them eat anything?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's true.
They're
They
all
wanna
playing
play,
football and like there's only a
Yeah.
couple of them that would sit.
But usually that's because they'll go home and have lunch.
Yeah.
Because it's quite close. Our second break is very close to the end of the day,
Yeah,
to
it is,
lunchtime. But the first break, I agree with you, Sarah. I think they should eat. Just let them eat. We're done. You say that or do you say that?
Sarah does.
There's it.
But like no, like a lot of but for the younger ones, I mean, for them to see the others going off and playing, and they're like, oh, I have to keep eating. You know, it's
No,
too
I
much of a
know.
temptation. Oh, I'll just go. Some go back. They always ram their foot down
Yes.
when the bell's gone, and then they're walking up the stairs
I
eating
know.
food.
Because I'm hungry. I didn't have time to eat, and I'm like, no.
No,
You had time to eat.
I'm trying to think.
Because I always am like, well, do you know what I did at break? I went to the staff room and I ate, then I went to the toilet, then I did like, I marked.
How would you have time? I don't have time to go to the staff room.
I said my kids like on time, Sarah. Like 2 minutes before that bell's go, my kids lined up ready to go.
Yeah, same.
No,
I'm
we're a
not
bunch
using
of
my
faffers in grade
Oh,
six.
that minor faffers
Oh,
too. We need the 2 minutes of faffing. We need 2 minutes to faff before the bell
Okay,
goes.
I need to think that.
You
then
do,
go.
Sarah.
I am very
As-
regiment out the door.
11,
Get them going.
11:37, my kids start to pack up for break. That's 3 minutes, and by the time they faff, they're all lined up.
Yep.
By 11:40, bye.
Mine's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes them so long, Sarah.
Man, mine are on the top floor too. I should be doing
Yeah.
that. Right. That's the goal this week.
Yeah.
So how does lunch affect us as a teacher? Like, do you feel like you have time to eat and sit, or do you feel like it's like you're rushed?
Rushed. I don't know why. It's well. I mean, no.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I feel rushed as well. But it's interesting that when you're on break duty, do you feel like it takes twice as long?
Oh yeah.
Because you're standing there like this. Oh.
Yeah.
No, I'm watching the kids with me.
Break duty's going on long.
It feels longer, but by the time you set, so I do send my kids out on time. I send my kids out on time, and then I go up to the staff room, I eat, I go to the toilet, do it, and then all of a sudden the bell goes, and you're like, like where did that 30 minutes go? So
I'll do marking. The thing is, I'm now trying to make a rule for myself: eat first, then do marking. But oftentimes I'm just like, oh, I gotta get this done.
What is stuck to my foot?
So
Sorry. Ooh.
I can't take for the
Tip.
plaster.
Ew.
I'm already redoing my plastering after this.
Sorry, Sarah.
All right.
Yeah, but I need to get out of my room.
Same.
I need to get, even if it's just me in that staff room stare. Today it was just Kier, shout out, it was just me and Kier first break. We just stared at the wall. I was like, Kier, I'm so glad. We mutual understanding. Be quiet.
Good job I wasn't there, so I'd be chatting away.
See, I would have joined you, but I was getting confused with this Carol diagram. I'm doing Carol and a Venn diagram. And I was going over it again, and I was like, what?
I know, we Carol diagram.
Yeah, but, yeah.
Sorry. Oh,
No,
questions. Sorry.
I just prefer a Venn diagram. I just think Venn's
They're
cute.
easier. Ben's
Yeah.
easier. Actually, is it easier?
No,
Or it's just
Carol's a nicer wee one, I think.
just I don't
Oh,
know.
Carol's too boxy. Venn is circles.
Too circly.
Otherwise, I would have joined you.
No, it's
Me
okay.
and Carol were having a fight, so.
But I know sometimes break. I'm just like, oh, like I need
I
that.
love talking to people.
But I also need to eat. I'm so grumpy when my kids
Yeah.
notice the difference. It's really bad. They notice the difference between first thing in the morning, Miss Hannah, and after break, Miss Hannah. Because after break, Miss Hannah's got a bit more energy for about her life. First thing in the morning, Miss Hannah's like, do not speak to me.
My kids just get this waft of coffee smell in the room.
So,
It's all decaf. I can't take the proper stuff. So.
we buy this proper stuff.
Yeah.
I had 4 coffees today. It was terrible. So tired.
How do you do that?
I was literally, and now I'm feeling it like, oh.
Wow.
Anyway, last question. What do students complain about the most when it comes to school lunch, and what do they love? Like, what do they complain? I feel like it's just I didn't have time to eat.
Some of my kids don't like break because they would rather stay inside and chat. And I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah, okay. out.
Some of my girls.
I'm like,
do
well, I
that
said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be in the room, so you can't be in here.
Or sometimes they'll say, Miss, can we stay here and talk like with you?
I'm
like,
like,
no.
Oh.
Sorry. I love you, but get out.
no, but I need to go get my lunch, which is probably in the staff in the
Yeah.
fridge. So I'm like, oh,
And it's like, I want to make coffee, I want to go to the toilet.
I want to see a different part of the world, you
Yeah.
know?
And then do you know when you walk, you know when you come out of our school and you go like through the kids who are having break upstairs? You know the kids are like, oh hi Miss, hi Miss. I'm like, like a wee celebrity. do you not ever think that?
Yeah, I
I
know.
love it. Like you walk.
I never
like,
got a
"Ooh."
celebrity now. Well,
Yeah, but
no,
it's-
me, I'm just like,
Should we
yes,
get my
hi.
autograph?
I will. Like can you? So, but you know when they're like, hi Miss, hi Miss, hi Miss, I'm like, oh.
Why did you see me 2 minutes ago? Your friends.
Then I run into stuff and bye.
And what do I like about Bray? Probably getting out of there at someone just like getting out
Yeah,
of there.
Oh,
they got
football
the
pitch.
energy. Oh, the football pitch is definitely. I'm
Love
so
that.
glad.
Sometimes I like going to the football pitch and running around with them.
Fair enough,
Well,
it's
that's a
not-
bit of stay back for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't you ever, like, I would love to be able to do that if I didn't sweat.
But why sweat?
Yeah.
And then I get back and the kids like, this what's wrong with your face because it's bright red. I'm just like, I was running around, burning off my energy.
But no, they do like break and they like play. Like when you watch grade 1 and 2, their difference between first and second break. Second break they get to play.
Yes, I had no break today's in first break. I don't know second
Ooh.
break. Yeah,
I have none on second break.
I have 1 first, 2 second.
they're all second break.
I have 3 break duties. We have 3 break duties, yeah.
I don't like
You do supervision,
We
yeah.
don't do, I prefer
No.
supervision. You don't want to do supervision?
I think so. I think next year I might change to
Oh, yeah.
supervision.
No, I don't want like at the end of the day I don't want to see anyone for a couple
I
minutes.
like it when your lot come up, Laura.
Aw.
They come up and they read my dog man. They just sit in the corner and I'm like, oh.
I should have seen it in the period before that.
They're
They're a different breed. It's grade 5.
Anyway, on that note,
Eat healthy.
eat healthy.
I eat healthy and read those ingredients because there's a lot in it. Shouldn't be in it. Don't put in any bags of crisps.
I don't have a donut at 9:10 in the morning.
Oh, please don't.
Not every day.
Although,
Oh,
having said
yeah.
that, whenever there's sweet stuff in the staff room,
Oh, girl.
I don't care what side it's
on.
We're saying this.
Such hypocrites we
We
are.
are.
Literally. I have been known to. Yeah, I have.
I do eat brownie or
If there's something in the staff room, the first break, oh,
a wee cup of tea or
have a porridge first, because that's
oh,
balance.
Yes.
yeah, you have we
Yeah.
we eat our proper food
Yes.
first before
Yeah.
that, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, it's pure sugar. And you're like, ooh.
I try and set a good example for the kids, yeah. And I always tell them the porridge in the morning, you know. And they always ask me, like, this is cheap. Yes.
Yes, dude.
And I
Miss
tell
Hannah
them,
did too.
I tell them that I have them the porridge too.
Yeah.
I have first on it. And
Nice.
a wee bit
I
of
used to put banana in
syrup in it.
it.
I like porridge. It's good energy.
It's a slow release, you see.
Yeah. Boiled eggs though. Boiled eggs so good.
I have a crack over boiled egg in the staff room.
Oh,
Sarah.
I'm telling you. Sarah's supposed to have a hard boiled egg, Sarah's put it in.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.